Oh.
Tren Walker.
Amazing.
John Jones. Putnem. James McMahon. Leanne Guier.
Present.
Gary Hulsey. Clint Steiger.
Here.
James just sent me a text that he's running late. He's on his way. So, are there any changes or additions to the agenda? Betty, you had something?
I would like to poll council for the entrance exam.
Entrance exam?
For the audit.
Entrance meeting? Audit entrance meeting, right?
Yes, please.
Cheryl?
I would like to discuss a code of conduct.
Okay. And then, I'd like to also add on here, you all got those copies in your email regarding this Department of Ecology, the Stormwater Grant, and I was really hoping that Mayor Hill would be here to speak on it, and he said tonight was last night at taxes, so he's probably gonna work late, and then they tried to get somebody else, and it was their council night. So, I don't know if we want to discuss anything about this, I know, or bring it back on Monday, so I guess we'll talk about it when we get there.
Yeah.
Stormwater grant.
I would like to add number of police officers.
Okay.
You guys thought you were going to get out of here.
9 o'clock is now. Anything else? All right. Seeing nothing else, moving on. Starting with Betty with the sewer rate increase for King County.
Okay, I gave you the information. We've been notified that King County Council has raised the sewer rates effective January 1. I gave you some data. The current ordinance, they're raising the rates from $36.10 to $39.79, which is a 10.23% increase, or $3.79. The cost of that to the city, with the number of connections we have, would be $6,332.04 a month, or $75,984 in a year. The 2013 budget, proposed preliminary budget that was presented, does not have room to swallow $76,000. So that would indicate the need to have a rate increase. I gave you a couple of ideas: either do it by the percentage increase, or just add the exact same dollar amount they're adding to ours, and the rest of it is up to council.
Well, I think you need to just, like she said, look at the two different options. But I think it needs to go across the board. It needs to go to citizens and companies.
I would suggest that it goes to Finance Committee and they come to us with a recommendation.
Okay, is this a timely issue? I mean, will we have time to go to Finance Committee and come back to council, because that's going to put us into November?
That will put us into November. You need to have at least 2 readings on a rate increase. Everywhere I've ever been before, there have been at least 2 readings on a rate increase. So that will take 2 meetings, which would put it into December, which doesn't give a whole lot of notice to the citizens going out in water bills that the rate increase is coming.
But if you're having the readings, we can put it in the water bill that they're having the readings, so there is
Correct.
advance notice to come in.
And finance tomorrow, right?
No,
That's next.
next Thursday.
Maybe that's special.
I'm not there.
Yeah, you could put in the water bill that with a note and look for upcoming increase in your sewer, which amount will be determined later. I mean, give them a heads up so they know it's coming.
So, yeah, I'm missing that calendar there. So, with our next council meeting will be
The 22nd.
22nd, so the 23rd, so yeah, it's going to be the 1st.
And November, the first meeting, regular meeting in November will be on Tuesday after Veterans Day.
Veterans Day will be the 11th, so it'll be the 12th of November. Oh, 13th?
12th is a Monday, November.
Oh, okay, so 13th.
Yeah, looking at the calendar.
So, when do the utility bills go out again? The 1st?
The utility bills will go out November 1st or 2nd, and then again in December.
So I'm thinking that finance will have a chance to look at it, discuss it, or at least it could be talked about on the 13th of November. So you can put a notice out in the utility bill that it will be discussed at that meeting. What do you think?
I was thinking we could do it the last Monday this month, but that's the 5th Monday. So yeah, it'd be the 5th of November.
So that way it go to finance, still go to a workshop, and then it comes back and be discussed where people could comment on it.
And we could put it on the utility bill as King County's increased their rate by 10%. Well,
So do the
how
two
exactly how we're going to pass it along, so that gives people a chance to come out.
What does council think?
Sounds reasonable to me.
So you want it to go out in the utility bills that go out the 1st of November?
I would think so, that it's going to be discussed at the November 13th meeting.
Angelica, we've got time, right? Okay.
Okay? All right, good. Okay, next on the agenda is Resolution 12-12XX, authorizing the mayor to enter into and sign a Washington Public Agency contract with the Municipal Research Service Center for Small Works Roster and Consultant Roster.
And this is an annual thing. The City of Pacific currently is a member of the MRSC Small Works Roster, Consultant Roster, and this is just a renewal. They come to us apparently every year, and it would require approximately $480 for the membership fee, but it is a contract and it requires the mayor's signature, and so it needs to be adopted by resolution so that he has the authority to sign.
Move forward, okay. Okay, next on the agenda is the audit entrance meeting.
The auditor talked to me today. He would like to tentatively schedule the entrance interview for Friday, and he wanted me to poll council. I let him know that there was interest of council, all council attending, and so he wanted me to poll it, giving you two options. One is if everybody can make it at one time, that's fine, or if you wanted him to hold two meetings, one in the morning and one in the afternoon. So I need to poll and find out what council wants to do, and then he will be sending out the notices tomorrow via email. And have it scheduled.
So do we have time set aside the morning, morning and afternoon? Is
That's all he
8
said.
a.m., 10 a.m.?
Basically, he's trying to find a time that will work for council.
Okay. Discussion?
I'm open, so.
Anything after 9:30 should work for me.
Are you up to what we're talking about?
I assume it's about the audit, what day is it?
Friday?
On Friday.
I'll be in Virginia. I'm only available after 1. Yeah, if there's a conference call capability, I'd love to try.
No help calling in, just put you on speaker and whatever ring there.
Okay? And I have John after 1, Tren after 6 at night. Clint,
You said
anytime?
after 6 at night?
Yeah, my schedule's so
Well, and I
Yeah,
hear you,
anytime.
that Friday's huge.
Just about any time unless I'm taking a nap.
We're planning a big event at our union hall, so after 6 would work for me on Friday.
Me
You're-
too, Gary. We
After
have the same
6.
schedule.
Okay.
Morning's definitely better for me.
I will let him know what people have available, and you'll get something in the email.
And I wouldn't plan around me. If there's a majority of people that can meet in the morning,
It sounds like it's pretty split.
yeah, I'm pretty, my schedule could, I could be here at noon or I could be here at midnight, I don't
Yeah,
know.
that'd avoid a quorum too.
If these three can meet in the morning, just have a meeting in the morning, you know?
Or they go afternoon, we can include you.
Then you got a public
Then you
notice.
have a,
Yeah,
okay.
if we split it in two, then we don't have a quorum either time, and neither one of them's a.
I wouldn't even have to,
Oh, I see.
Unless we post it as a public meeting.
Yeah, and that's why he needed to know tomorrow, so that we can make sure we have
All
time.
right, work it out.
I would think just the three of them, 10 in the morning, be done with it, and then you have one meeting, make sure their supervisor attends, and, you know, there's no point in me coming back. You know, I'll enjoy the day off, I gotta work the next 19 days in a row anyway.
Okay. You have all the information that you need, Betty?
I do, thank you very much.
All right, next on the agenda is code of conduct.
Well, that's not the audit.
So we have had some very unbecoming behavior in the senior center, and I thought it was just me and was just only geared towards me, but my new cook and my new employee have been subjected to some very inappropriate behaviors. They've been sworn at. One's been nudged out of the way, one's been pulled by the arm. And so looking through all the codes, of course it's all against Pacific Municipal Code, and I've looked in procedure manuals, and it talks about the employee procedures, and also the employee procedures it does talk about citizens in the public facilities, but it's still part of employee procedures. There's no code of conduct that I could find, unless you guys know of one, a code of conduct that's been adopted by the city, the council, or anybody. But I think it's a good idea to have it posted instead of just assume, especially in the situation that we are in the city, the behaviors are coming into the centers. So I would like to post something, and I think it would be good for it to be, basically I need the support of you guys to help de-escalate the treatment of the employees. So before I posted something, I had sent an email to Leanne and asked her, does this go to the committee first, workshop, and then the council? Is this something you want me to just put up? The kids have a code of conduct. It's basically rules, and it's posted on the wall. Joanne just put them there. There's been nothing adopted or official, but because these are adults, I just don't feel comfortable just putting rules on the board. So I would like the support of the council to come up with some kind of code of conduct. It's in the code. It's in, it's basic public behaviors, but it needs to be posted so people are put on notice that it's not acceptable. And we're going to have to start taking drastic measures. If one of them are touched again, we're going to have to move forward. You can't continue to violate someone like that. So.
I'm curious whether the existing adopted park rules would be applicable. We have a code of conduct for the city park. I don't remember how narrowly we tailored what facilities that applies to.
I'm not sure. One of my thoughts,
I was going to say, it talks about the parks, because I looked at that. There's a lot of good to it. I think it would be a great start. Because I looked into that too, is what I found as well. Because I'm like, there's got to be something that we've posted. There has to be something that's in the code. But there isn't. But it's a good start.
Try to leave off the partner if I pick up on
Yeah.
I don't know. I hope
That's
you
in
do a
there.
dog inside.
No dogs are allowed. If we leave that in there, they'll think that dogs are allowed.
So one of my thoughts on the whole thing was when Cheryl brought this to my attention, I didn't want to just make a decision. I said, why don't you bring it to workshop, we'll talk about it, it'll probably get referred to committee, but meanwhile, she'll work on something, get it put together, the Human Services Committee can meet on it and then bring it to council for approval. But I thought she needed to come and that everybody on council be aware of what was going on and why you were going to move in this direction.
Well, it seems even more widespread than just community services. It should be, something code of conduct citywide, and let should treat everybody, be it a meeting or in the hallway, so to speak. So my recommendation would be, that the committee take a look at it, probably take a look at some of the other cities and see what they've adopted.
I have a tendency to agree that if we're going to do something like this, let's take it longer at a time, let's take it a couple of steps further, and so we don't experience these outbursts where Bob Boyd or Chet yelling in the hallway when the news media was here, and it's been numerous times of inappropriate actions and yelling by city employees in union meetings and stuff. There's been inappropriate accusations and stuff. So it should have been, if they had those concerns or whatever, make them on a one-on-one, they total disruptive meetings. So just eliminate that whole thing. Does that make sense to you?
Well, the employees, it is very specific in the employee handbook about that very thing. But I agree that it should be posted in all the facilities. In most other rec centers that you go, there's a code of conduct that you agree to. And I thought of that as well, calling Auburn. I have a call in to check other code of conduct. And it's basic. It's, it doesn't get that specific, but it's just putting people on notice, and it's just something that is needed in all the buildings. And on the premises, when you're on public property, whether you're inside the facilities or not, it's still not okay to behave that way.
We could probably use it right here and
Well, we have rules like that here.
for council members.
For members of the public as well. It's just the chair has to, not speaking, the chair is responsible for enforcing the rules.
Yeah.
But I would appreciate it going to committee. It's not something I want to create.
Right.
I don't think it's appropriate for me to create it on my own. I think it should go to committee, and I get some input, and I'll bring other cities' codes of conduct and other rec centers, what I've seen other community centers, because we do have some serious violations going on.
So how much time do you think you need to have before the committee meet with you on this? Or would you like to
I can meet this week. I have a lot of it done.
Not
Well, I'm ready, but we could do next week,
Next week for me, and I
Yeah.
don't know about the rest of the committee.
Well, let's do next week, take this up. While walking in here, 2 of my days just got shot.
Well, and I don't know if Tuesday works, I don't know how for you, we have a finance committee meeting at 6:30. So if we met at 5, I bet I'm all one day. I don't know, how does that work for the rest of the community services committee? We meet at 5 o'clock next Tuesday, does that work with you?
Week for this Tuesday?
A week from this Tuesday, a week from tomorrow.
Yeah, all right.
Gary, is that
5 o'clock, so time.
is it?
Watch that, and that's once you had dinner.
So, we met at 5:30, I think an hour is enough time? 5:30?
5:30 will work.
Okay, 5:30, next Tuesday. Okay, great. Good deal.
Remind me.
AM or PM?
Better be the PM. PM, right? We're talking, he said dinner.
Okay, next item on the agenda is Stormwater Grant. John, are you comfortable to speak on this? I know
Well,
you were-
comfortable, but we need to bring it up. It was brought to my attention via email. I've seen kind of a few emails being sent around. It relates to the Department of Ecology Stormwater Grant that Milton is leading up for the cities of Algona, Edgewood, Pacific, and Milton. And they're working with Skills and Connolly in preparation. And you have a copy of the the Department of Ecology grant information, as well as the back 2 pages of that stapled document are the interlocal agreement. I know that there's a time issue related to this for them. That's why she hadn't heard anything from the city side. And I know Leanne brought up a couple times and trying to get Dave Hill present. And he hasn't been able to be here for one reason or another. But they're looking at needing approval by the end of the month that the council agrees to this interlocal agreement. So,
If you make sure I get one, I'll draw the resolution.
Okay, and are you done?
well, I just want to let everybody know that I did also forward this to Mr. Luce for review, the content, and have not heard back from him, but in looking of it, the clean sweep, I haven't looked at every word. It looks like a standard procedure, like, and she said, well, just need a resolution.
So, and I can still probably get Mayor Hill next Monday. He told me tonight when I sent him the email yesterday, okay, just want to confirm you're going to be there 6:30, because last week he couldn't because we met on Tuesday and that's their council meeting night, so he couldn't come. I couldn't guarantee how quick I could get him in here with audience participation. So I was like, no, I can't guarantee I can get out of here in time. So he was going to come this week. And then now he said it's the last day of tax season, so he's working really late tonight. So I may still be able to get him here next Monday to answer some questions that we may have. So my hope was, does everybody get a chance to review this week and bring me questions that you may have next week, because it would take us next week to approve it, be a part of the Stormwater Grant. It's free money. You know,
And I will,
benefit the city, and it's between Milton, Algona, and Pacific.
Edgewood.
And Edgewood, I'm sorry.
To streamline and have a consistent reporting system for our stormwater permitting, so we have a shared GIS, shared standard operating procedures, so that we don't all have to reinvent the wheel in the city on our own.
So maybe one, if Betty would rough out
Yeah, let
and I'll
me
make sure you have a copy.
have a copy so I know.
And
what I'm
I'll
doing.
make sure that
I think that might be missing page 3, I know mine is.
press,
On the day.
well, I can also email it to you, the electronic version, but make sure that Mr. Luce communicates to all the council his response as well as you. If he's not CC'd you, I'll forward it to you.
Okay.
So we can put it all together as a package.
And anytime we do a resolution or anything like this, we send him the agreement and the resolution so that he can check it for form and all that good rock.
Okay?
Excellent. Anything else, Michelle? Thanks, you
So we
guys.
can put it on the agenda for next Monday.
Right on, moving forward. Hopefully, we'll get that in this week. I just hate to have questions about this. Okay, next item on the agenda, Clint, you want to talk about the number of officers?
Yes, I do. Okay, came to my attention last week that we had a typographical error on our FTE schedule for 2012. So when the budget got put into the computer, Betty went by what she had, and she put 4 in. And so it ended up being caught last week. And so the mayor went to Gail Bennett and told Gail that to stop their motions or delay their motions, whatever, because the police department is fully staffed. So Gail, they still went ahead and proceeded on with what they were doing, just so they would be in plan. So what I've done is I went through this and I have took the highest and maximum figure and I just kind of rounded them off. So now, you know, this is not going to be an 100% accurate figure that I give you. But, you take the high figure and take an officer, by 12 months, that's 66,000 a year. So 6 officers, 66,000 a year, that's 396,000. Got the chief, 108. Lieutenant, 96. The sergeants, figure 80,000 a year, that's 160. Detective, 68,000. Clerk, 42,000. The evidence technician, 45,000. That ends up to 915, and the budget amount was 943, and it did not include the court officers. They're on an hour deal. I don't know what that is. So, and also that difference in there could be some officers' steps or whatever it could be to come up with this difference. So it's obvious that when the dollar figure was adopted in the budget, it was adopted for 6 officers. And also, when the union, Leanne called me and went through her, when we negotiated the union contract, we negotiated the union contract for 10 employees over there. 6 officers, 2 sergeants, lieutenant, and detective. So, I don't know what we have to do here, but we have to get this typographical error corrected, and we need to take action right away, because as of last week, unless it's changed, our hiring process was at a stall.
One of the things that I did is contacted Chief Hawkins and asked him for the breakdown per officer, how it got implemented into the budget. Because we did budget for 6 officers. And the breakdown, and I thought I was going to have it by today, and I haven't gotten it yet. But he'll have the breakdown. And I told him, I don't even need the name, I just want Officer 1, Officer 2, Officer 3.
Clint came in and asked me for that information. I went through all of the budget stuff that I could find when I moved into that desk, because obviously that was all done prior to me getting here. And I did not find anything in the 2012 information. He did grab a 2011 out of the 2011 budget. And I have it for 2013 because that's the budget I'm working on. But I could not find it for 2012.
Now, I know that there has to be one, or there was one. There was one. Because I will never approve a budget without seeing salary spreadsheet. I never have in 15 years. So, we had one, but it's no place. I mean, Betty went through every, we looked around for all the books and everything. We went through her worksheets and stuff. She's got, she's working for 2013 budget. It's not in any of her worksheets.